Hi golfers and welcome. I'm Carolyn Pinniger, Leadbetter certified instructor, and today we're here to help you with your chipping. Most of our students struggle around the green because this is where the scores are made or lost. So we're here to make sure that next time you miss a green, you feel confident and comfortable that you can make that up and down 80-90% of the time and feel like a tour player. All right, so one of the most common mistakes that we see on a daily basis with our amateurs is that they have the ball a little bit too far back in their stance because they do want to hit down, and then they turn out to hit down a little bit too much, which causes them to dig. And they also sometimes have their weight a little bit too far on the lead foot, which again just emphasizes that dig. And especially when you're using a 60-degree or a 56-degree wedge, a high lofted wedge, that can really not work in your favor and make it even harder. If you're into the grain, like on this shot, meaning the grass grows into you, again, it's gonna catch, it's gonna make you chunk the ball, and that is what we want to avoid. So today we're going to learn how we can avoid that and how we can hit consistent chips over and over and over again. So I'm going to be talking about 3 tips that you can implement into your chipping today to be a better chipper tomorrow. So make sure you watch the entire video so you can get all those 3 tips. So the first thing I want to address is your ball position. And we want to make sure it's in the right spot for a shot like this. So you see we have a lot of rough, a lot of fringe, if you will, and just a little bit of green. So for a shot like this, we want to make sure we don't dig and we get the ball up in the air and we drive that chip with our core. Our core is our engine and our arms are attached to it. So we want to make sure this ball position is on our left ear or lead ear level. So it actually is a little bit forward of center, if you will. And you can see that really well from this camera angle. So that will help us actually hit the ball a little bit more up in the air and use the natural loft of this club. And I have a 60-degree right here. You can do the same thing with a 56-degree, no problem. This is just my club of choice. Then I'm going to position my hands a little bit just over the ball, really. I don't want to be too far forward. I don't want to be too far back. I want to have my hands just above the ball here. And my weight is still forward. However, not that much. I would say this is about 60-40, 60% on my lead foot, 40% on my back foot. And then the key here, so this is the second piece of information, is to really drive this with your core. A lot of our students, they just kind of do this with their arms, and it kind of looks something like this. So they think that the engine of the power and the momentum is in their arms. And you see how disconnected I am here with my arms going back and through. We want to make sure that we actually drive this with our core, with our belly button. See how here my arms are staying completely connected, going back and going through. And that's really the second biggest key. So let's hit a shot. So you see how that ball really got up in the air. Oh, I thought I had that for a second. But the ball really got up in the air well. I did not dig. I barely took a divot at all. And we were able to use the natural loft of this wedge. So again, to reiterate, number 1, make sure that your ball position is at your left ear level or your lead ear level and your hands are above the ball. You're driving this with your core, with your belly button. It is not arm action. The dog wags the tail, not the tail wags the dog, as David always likes to say. So make sure that the dog, your core, is driving this. The third bit of information I want to share with you is one of our great training aids called the Boomerang. This is an oldie but a goodie, and it still to this day works so well. It's one of the best training aids out there, and it really helps you get that core engine arm connection for these chips and for these pitches, and I'm going to show you how right now. All right, so this is the Leadbetter Boomerang, and we're going to place this under our lead arm right here. And as you can see, we have this pressure now between our lead arm and our chest. And we want to make sure we still apply what we just worked on. We want to put our ball into our lead ear in terms of the ball position. We want to have our hands above the ball, not too far forward, not too far back. And we really want to focus on the pressure right here that we have between our chest and our upper arm. And that pressure should drive your motion. So make sure going back you keep that pressure and going through you keep that pressure. And you see what that does is that it really forces me to drive through and accelerate through with my core because it has to stay attached. If your boomerang falls out, you're not doing it right. You're too armsy. So let's try this and hit a couple of shots with this to get the feel. See how nice and high that came out. Again, this is perfect. This is a tap in. You can hit that shot all day long with this boomerang. So make sure you get yourself a boomerang and you follow these tips. In combination, they will make your chipping better immediately. And I cannot wait to see you next time. We bring this content to you on a weekly basis. So make sure you hit that like button, you subscribe, and you leave us a comment below. We always love hearing from you. See you next time. For your faults, we have a fix. Make sure to go to leadbetterswingaids.com today to become the best chipper you can be.